welcome to this week's episode of So It's Not Just Me. I'm your host, Joanna, and I brought Laura back again because I adore her and she is wonderful. And we have been talking about doing this episode for what, maybe 6, 9 months now?
Maybe longer. I think I
Maybe
might have
longer.
teased this when we first originally caught up.
I think we did. So me and Laura, as you can see, we're not usually dressed like this well, especially me. I don't usually dress like this when we do podcasts. We are talking about sports and the good, the bad, the ugly that we get as female sports fans. So I'm gonna jump straight in.
hmm
Laura, how did you become a sports fan? That's such a
So
broad question.
it is. And so, I mean, I can take you all the way back as a little tyke, right? So,
Hmm.
being 2 years younger than my brother, I followed in his footsteps and I wanted to do anything or everything that he did. So, at about 7 or 8 years old, he got signed up to play baseball. And then it didn't take the very long hanging out at the ballpark watching kids practice, I saw on another field there were some girls that were in my grade at my school. So I just kind of walked over and ended up joining late through the season, but ended up joining because they needed someone else. Coach gave me a glove, and there it is. So as I grew older and was exposed to more sports, now I follow the like NHL pretty often, or in LL, the National Lacrosse League is really kind of fun. But I will always catch a World Cup, an Olympic ceremony, or any viral game where there's some sort of anomaly or something really cool happening.
Yeah. So I'm kind of similar. Obviously, it wasn't because of a sibling. When I was younger, I'm one of three, and it's not always cheap to take a family of five out for the day. But the local football team used to do offers where it was like £1, so like the equivalent of $1, to go and watch the game if you was under like 15. So we used to do that, and that's where I started with my love for sports and becoming a sports fan and repping my team today. So I'm a big Doncaster Rovers fan. That's Please forgive me, anyone in England, but that is the local soccer team. It is football and will always be football to me. So I've followed Doncaster Rovers since I was probably 7 or 8 years old, maybe a little bit younger, and that's where I got my love for football. And through the years at school, I used to play field hockey. I used to love field hockey.
Oh.
So I used to play that a lot, mainly because my mum used to play it. So she used to play it, so I used to play it. Tennis, love, absolutely adore. Rugby, cricket, baseball, basketball, American football, you name a sport, I will watch it. I'll learn it and I'll watch it. So, with that, when do you, or do you remember the first time you realized that being a female sports fan was different to being a male sports fan?
So when I was a kid, right? Because I started playing when I was young, like I said, about I think about 7. That sounds about right. Um, things were kind of different, but the same for my brother. Like whatever sports camp he was going to, I was going to go to. There's no reason to go to two different camps or something like that. So I'd often get put into baseball camp. My mom even likes to say, shout out to her. She's probably going to watch this as soon as it's released. I love you, mom. Um, she loves to remind me that one year I was the only girl at a raised baseball camp, which I think is really fun. Um,
Yeah.
I did fall out of sports for some time in my late teens after I had what I consider a career ending injury at 16. But before that, I was always an athlete, and it kind of made sense for me to know about and talk about sports, specifically baseball, and then fell out a little bit, like I said, in those teen years, and then came back after college full force, more than ever before.
Right. When you tell people that you're a sports fan, or you go in like when so anyone who doesn't know, Laura and I actually went down to watch the Rays during spring training. We made a girls' day of it, went down, drove down and watched the baseball together. And we have met up at the baseball before as well when we've been. When you tell people, I'm a female sports fan, you don't have to obviously say it like that, but I'm going to watch the baseball today. I'm going to watch the hockey. I know you're a big hockey fan. What kind of reaction do you get from men who you're telling or speaking to?
So if I end up like mentioning that I'm a fan, whether like I'm very extroverted. I like to say that I'm more extroverted than my own good. So often I'll
Yes.
see you can agree, you've been in public with me. Anybody who's been in
Yes.
public with me will know I can talk to anybody about anything. So if I see someone with a Rays hat or even like a Yankees hat, I'll ask like specifically Yankee fans or someone with a Yankee hat. I'll say, "Are you a fan or are you just wearing that for fashion?" Because that is definitely true for people with Yankee hats.
Yes.
Um, but it most of the time it's pretty fun. I think maybe they don't expect it. It's just kind of this like, oh, okay. Like just the other week I was talking, there were these guys talking and the one guy mentioned, oh, my bet yesterday and blah blah blah. These are two complete strangers. They don't know each other either. We were talking for like 15 minutes talking about sports, and I told him like, oh, I've had people ask me before about a bet, like, hey, your team is playing, or do you know this pitcher, what's like likely for over under or something like that. So like throughout this conversation I'm definitely keeping up. So the one guy turns to the second, he's like, wow, he's like, this is really refreshing and kind of cool to hear a woman talk about sports like this. So
Yeah.
I'll get comments like that. Like people are surprised that I'll know like lineups, stats, storylines, and then sometimes they get to chat about something in the news cycle or a draft pick or like a hometown hero, which is just really cool to connect with people.
That's something that I've really enjoyed, especially being friends with you. I don't know
That's so
many of the
sweet.
well, I don't know many of the players other than Rays players,
Mm,
because I'm still very, very new to baseball in the terms of a lot of people's like enjoying sports. I've only been a baseball fan since meeting Kyle, so 4, 5 years now. So I'm still very new to it, still learning. There's still things happening in games that I don't understand. So right now, with it being trade deadline, you telling me facts about players, or me saying, oh, I don't really rate this player, what do you think, and you can give me your feedback on it, is really refreshing as well to know. I have somebody who knows these things, and this is the same as how I am, with English football, soccer. um
you can
it,
you can call it
it really
football.
it really
In my
hurts to call
notes,
it
when I
soccer.
mentioned American football, I put American football.
Well, I really do struggle to say soccer because it just doesn't sound right. But I similar to you as well. I have male friends at work that won't have a conversation about baseball unless I'm involved, or will come and see me about something that's happened before they'll talk to anybody else. And it's really nice that they don't see me as any different, and they just treat me exactly the same. Because years ago, it wasn't always like that,
Correct.
which is, it's hard. It is hard. Um, have you ever been asked to prove your knowledge as a fan?
Hmm. I don't know if I've ever been requested to like prove it, but I've definitely heard skepticism at all levels. Like, for
Yeah.
example, just the other week, I went glove shopping. It's been something I've been talking about with my partner. I'm like, I want to get a glove. I want to play catch. I want to maybe like go to a batting cage, those kinds of things. So I got really excited. And actually, I didn't go to the store for a glove. I went to the store for something else. But then I tried this glove on and I knew that I wasn't going to stop thinking about it because it just, I know this sounds dumb, but my first thought in my head was, it just fit like a glove. And then my head, I was like, I won't forget about it. I'm just going to get it or I will not stop thinking about it. So then I
Yeah.
was really excited, right? And one of the
Yeah.
guys had come over, hey, do you need any help? Blah, blah, blah. And then we were talking about it and I kind of explained that just like what I said. And then he's like, okay, so you know that that's not like a normal glove, right? And I was like, well, what do you mean? He's like, that's like a special glove. And I was like, yeah, I played first base and I played catcher. I know exactly the type of glove this is. Like, you know what I mean? Like a catcher's mitt and a first base mitt, those can be interchangeable, but you're not going to use that at shortstop in no
Right. Right.
way. So it
Yeah.
was kind of like this awkward, like, I feel like maybe he had good intentions, but like, if someone's this excited talking about something, you might just need to believe that they kind of know what they're talking about.
Yes. Yeah. I've had that before with football, and being a football fan, going to watch the World Cup, or whatever, at the local bars, because I take Kyle whenever there's a football match. We try and catch it, and the first thing out of a guy's mouth to me is usually, "Well, explain the offside rule."
Mm,
Offside in football is very different to offside in American football, obviously, because they're complete different sports. But I can explain it. I can tell you. I've been watching since I was a kid. I know exactly where it is. So that's always seems to be the, you don't know
Like a
sport.
gotcha, like this
Yeah.
little gotcha that they're trying to like,
Yes.
oh, honey, like, oh, okay,
Okay,
let's
little girl,
see.
go sit back down. Let the men talk. And I
Mm.
can explain it better than most. Another, and I'll come to this later, but I feel like it's because we have to work hard to learn these things. Another story I have is we were in, where were we? We're in Philadelphia. Anyone who doesn't know, Kyle and I are doing a road trip of MLB ballparks. I know you're doing it as well. How we're doing it is it can only be against the Rays. So if the Tampa Bay Rays are not playing the team and we go to that ballpark, it doesn't count. We can't scratch it off our board. It's still a we haven't been to this ballpark.
That's my rule too,
So
by the way.
oh, good. I think it's the best rule because
Yeah.
otherwise I would book it all and would do them all in a year, and we can't. It's just ridiculous. So we were in Philadelphia, sat at a bar. We'd been to the game the night before, sat in the bar having a few drinks before we went to bed. Was watching it on the TV. Because anyone who doesn't know, there's about 1 million baseball games a year, and they're on every single day, and it just it's wonderful. It's the best thing. Um, so we're watching it, and this guy who was older, like probably old enough to be my granddad, was trying to talk to Kyle about baseball, and Kyle said to him, "There's no point asking me. Ask my wife. She knows more right now. She's been following. She knows what's going on." And this guy leant forward, looked at me, and went, "Yeah, sure, okay," and carried on with
Mm.
Kyle. And I was like, "There's no need to be rude. Test me if you want. Try it out." And Kyle kind of did. The guy asked a question and Kyle just leant back and went, "It's all yours." And I
Yeah.
answered and I didn't miss a beat and I got it right. And I was so proud of myself for being able to answer. But I feel that that's something that we have, that's like a stigma of being a female football fan. You're always being tested.
Absolutely. And it's now I would say more coming less and less often, which is a good trend to
Yes.
see.
Yes. There is a trend that I really don't like. And this kind of leads me on to my next question of people always assume that you're going to watch the sport because of a boyfriend, a husband, a family member, um, because the boys have got shorts on. And I really don't like this trend right now of I'm at the boy aquarium or the boys zoo or whatever, because I feel like that brings, I get it's supposed to be fun, but it's kind of demoralizing when you are such a big sports fan and it's automatically assumed that you're there for the boy zoo or for a boyfriend, husband, family member, whatever.
I think that trend has been kind of fun, but I hadn't thought about it that way before. It kind of almost like sets us back a little bit as women,
Yeah.
like this view that we may get. I thought it was this cute little like don't tap on the glass thing, but no, I totally get that. And I kind of have the same thing. If someone were to ask me if I was watching this or catching up to be on par with my boyfriend or my brother or something, I would laugh. I would say, do you understand how much time alone I spend watching the game, reading beat reporters, catching the YouTube recaps if I'm busy or whatever?
Yeah.
I do that alone on my own time. My partner's algorithm, when it shows him baseball stuff, he sends it because of me and for me only.
Yeah.
He played baseball as a kid, but he's not really interested in it beyond he knows that I enjoy it.
Yeah.
So that is definitely not a smart assumption for me, just like it would be for you.
No, no. So my father-in-law will text me over texting Kyle to see how the Rays have done or,
That's cute.
about the football, or he'll call and ask me about the game. Even today. So we have specifically waited to record this episode today because we were both watching. Well, okay, Laura was supposed to be watching the baseball.
Well,
She didn't, but I was watching the game first because this is my sport weekend. There's Formula One this morning, there's baseball this afternoon, and then it was okay, we can record now, it's finished. So,
yes.
um, and a lot of my episodes I do try and plan around watching the sport as well because I love it.
I need to call you out. She has literally sent me before a screenshot of her computer where she had the baseball game on over her own camera cuz mine's covered right now. It's really distracting to see yourself. So I'm
It is.
telling on Jonna for that because she has literally sent like a, "Do you think I could get away with watching it all game? I might be too distracted."
I'm not going to tell you which episode that was. Nobody will ever know, but I did
Nope,
have
nobody will
the
know.
baseball on. Only tiny, and to be fair, it was a very good episode, so it's fine. But yeah, I just enjoy it so much. And even today, Kyle was like, "Hey, how did we do today? Did we win?" Like, yes, and I could tell him everything that happened because I am a true fan.
Yeah.
So
You want to
you
be
know,
there. 162. I mean, there's something so special about catching the game, but I
yeah,
don't I don't think of it as any less. Today I had real plans come up. I had a friend reach out. It's like, "Sure, let's go do lunch. Let's do that. I can catch the 10-minute recap, MLB posts. I love it.
yep,
I'll watch it for other teams too, whether I think I mentioned earlier like if there's like a really special game, oh
yeah,
man, I'll go check it out. Like back in the Stanley Cup, I went back. There was a game. It was the Stars. I'm forgetting who it was against, but it was the last game to decide like who went on. It was game
okay,
7, and there was like a 4-point comeback in the last 90 seconds of the game. That's insane.
yeah.
I was showing people who weren't even hockey fans. I'm like, you have to watch this. Like, look what happens, and then this and that. Like, gives me chills. Like, it's just so cool.
Yeah,
Gotta
I
appreciate
know.
it.
Like last weekend, so obviously people know how long I wait to release episodes when I say this now. Last weekend was the ladies' final, World Cup final, and England were in the final, and I was so excited to watch. And Kyle knew, don't disturb her. She's watching the football. Leave her alone. And the whole game, I was tense. I was nervous. I was excited, and the roller coaster of emotions watching. And that's what, like I say, tell me a sport, I'll watch it. I just love it, and it's not necessarily that I'm a big competition person. I just enjoy watching. I really, really do. It's just great, absolutely great. Oh, let me think. Sorry, I'm losing my train of thought today, and it's not even because I'm watching anything else. So what's
No,
going
no,
on?
there's
You've
there's
called me out
nothing
now.
on your screen. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
What do you think about social media? Do you think it's like helped or hurt the perception of women football sports fans? Sorry.
I definitely think it's helped. I mean, you're able to kind of be active in an online community. A lot of the time, people don't really care who you are behind the screen. I mean, sure, you're going to still run into people sometimes, but that's anywhere on the internet. I seldom run into issues being considered part of the community. And then, like I said, there's always going to be some kind of trolls or whatever, but
Hmm.
I don't think I've ever felt ostracized. Now, I will sometimes type out a reply and then like look at the comments again and then I'll just kind of delete it and move on, but that doesn't happen too often.
I had a guy try and so anyone who doesn't know, again, I am a Tampa Bay Rays fan, and during last year, the big hurricane, our stadium was destroyed, and we now have to play. And I am devastated. I hate going by and seeing it looks like a skeleton. But we now play at a minor league ground. And when I first saw the ticket prices, I was absolutely
Oh yeah.
it was horrendous. I
Both
was
of us, we were
disgusted.
like
Yeah,
texting. She's doing the math. She's like, it's like 4 times as much, and
yeah.
heartbreaking.
And then I had someone try and mansplain to me how,
Oh,
well, it's a different stadium. We have to pay this, that, and the other. And I'm like, even if the capacity is less, we never get full capacity anyway at our stadium, unless the Yankees are playing. We don't get full capacity. So why do we have to have ticket prices so expensive? And then I was like, wait a minute, I work in accounting. I can do the math on this. So this guy trying to mansplain sport to me, I managed to twist it round to be, wait a minute, I can explain this better than you are.
yeah.
And And then I was thinking bigger picture, like the amount of times that we do get mansplained as if we don't understand what's going on is crazy, absolutely crazy. And I don't know if that's something you've experienced as well.
I have before, and like I try to like kind of keep it lighthearted and maybe diffuse it with humor a little bit, like thanks coach, but I already got the playbook. Or I'll kind of like playfully challenge like whatever they're taught. Like if they're explaining like no, the rules changed and they can't go past second base anymore and da 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 and something like that. And I kind of will counter and say, well, have you looked at the statistics where there's more hits, more runs because you can't put four people on second base to first base? Like you can't just shove everybody for a pull side hitter, and I'll
Yeah,
kind of like counter, I don't know, devil's advocate in a way, but it's kind of like a, hey, respect what I've got to say. If you're going to say something too, I might already know what you're talking about.
yeah. I think that's something that's just in general life. You should always respect somebody's opinion and thoughts and not put them down for it or try and justify why yours is better because it's not always the case. Everyone's entitled to their thoughts. So that winds me up too much. I need to.
Yeah, sometimes.
Yeah, that really gets me. What do you think? So, as women's sports fans, we get a hard rap, but what about sports journalism? Like, there's more and more women now in sports journalism, whether it be like a sideline reporter, somebody who's on the broadcast team. There are some I watch and I think, are you throwing a woman in there just so that there's a woman? And then there's others that I'm like, you are so good. I am
She
watching
knows what
because you're
she's
there.
on. She
Yeah, and
knows what
you,
she's on about. She
yeah,
knows these guys. She cares about the sports. Yeah,
yeah,
I do think they definitely get more pushback. Journalists, broadcasters, they're under this scrutiny for their looks or their tone or a
yeah,
question they might ask or seeming silly or something like that. Like they have to be good to look at, but not too sexy. Or they
yes,
get hate tweets for daring to cover a men's game. They're expected to do this flip side of being a tough analyst but then also a friendly sideline reporter. It's this inherent double standard where male reporters can be blunt and completely unfiltered, and
yeah,
women have to play this careful game of keeping things in this very tight line. Like
yes,
I absolutely adore the women who's working for the Bally and the Rays for the last 5 years, Trisha Whitaker, for example. I think she does such a phenomenal job. She's left the Rays now. She's a different contract. She does Apple TV on Friday nights and
yeah.
games and stuff. So I'm always excited to see her. And she's actually got her own podcast that she's working on. I think they just
She
released the first
has.
episode. Yeah. So she's got the sideline stories with Trisha and Sydney. It's her and another woman reporter, and talking about maybe stories that they have or expectations through that community. It's excuse me. It's something that I look forward to. I think it's just come to fruition.
Yeah, and you can tell as well that the relationship that she's built with the different players and teams, whether because I think she used to do college football before that,
Basketball
uh,
in Indiana.
basketball.
Or I
Did
think
she not do?
Indiana.
I think she did football as well for a
She
while.
did.
I was
I
gonna say
think
I
it's
thought
because
she.
in my head, it's because she played basketball that's what I associate her most
Right,
with.
right. But
So,
she's just built such a good rapport that even when she's at a team that she's not like, obviously she was focused on the Rays previously, but when she'll go to different teams, they all are so happy and welcoming that
absolutely.
it's as if she really does know exactly what she's on about. She's really studied the sport and she knows she's just wonderful.
Yeah.
But I do think that again, sometimes it's like, oh, let's just throw a woman in there so that we have a woman there and
To
they're
look
not
at
given
some
yeah,
eye
and they're not given the
candy
right
or,
support. They're not given the support to be able to do their job well
yeah.
because it's like you say, people just say, oh, it's the eye candy.
That's a whole different discussion, I think. But yes,
Yeah,
I mean,
yeah,
absolutely appreciate the hard work that she and other women put in. Just to kind of go a little off topic but still in the same vein, the reporter broadcaster, my apologies, the broadcaster for the A's, how they brought in Ginny last year and how much
yeah,
backlash she has gotten, but really how amazing is it that the main broadcast TV is now a woman, and she knows what she's
Yeah.
talking about too. I don't think many people love her personality. I think she's a little more on the dry side. But still, it's to me it's groundbreaking, and to me it's amazing to see
Yeah.
someone thriving in that condition.
And I think
It's exciting.
it gives such like a good example for young girls who, don't know what they want to do this, but they don't know if it's actually something that they can do. And seeing these women absolutely knock it out of the park is absolutely wonderful for these little girls to see and to aspire to be the same.
Absolutely, representation in all levels is such extremely important.
Yeah. I did want to touch about something where I was saying earlier about proving what you do and don't know and things. Something that I kind of felt a little bit was going back to American football. I'm very new to the sport as well. I was a rugby girl, football, UK football. All the UK sports we had growing up, um, we didn't really see much of like the American football. So the very first game I watched was the Bucks, so the Tampa Bay Buccaneers against the Kansas City Chiefs in the Super Bowl. So was
Okay.
that 21 or 22? I can't remember what year it was. I think it was 21. You're going to look it up for me.
I am
So the Chiefs lost to the
21.
Bucks. So it was 21. That was the first game I ever watched. And I
Wow, that's a
watched
good one.
Yeah, yeah. So I watched it with Kyle. I was back in England, he was over here, and we watched it together. And it was the first game I ever watched, and he was explaining everything to me, and I was like, "Oh, I just want to watch for the halftime show. I hear it's great." But I really, really got in. It was the weekend who did the halftime show, but I got really,
Oh,
really into.
yes.
It was
That
a
one
good
was a good
one.
one. That was a
Yeah,
good one.
it was, and I got really into it, and I really enjoyed the game. And straight away, I was like, I want to learn more, and I did, and I started learning, and I said, okay, I've watched these two teams. There was a player on the Bucks team that I didn't like, and I daren't say his name out loud in case I get a lot of hate for it.
Hmm.
But I didn't like Tom Brady. I don't know why. I just didn't like him. So I was like, do you know what? I'm going to be a Chiefs fan. I've learned a couple of players' names, and that's going to be my team.
And guess
And
what? That's a good enough reason.
yeah, well, Kyle Kyle used to be a Dallas Cowboys fan.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I'm sorry too. And I think it's simply because he'll say it all the time. His mum is a Washington fan. So he was just did the opposite. Just as kids do.
Yep. Spite.
Him and his one of his sisters were both Dallas fans, and then his mum and the other sister were Redskin fans. And I said to him, it's not as if I'm going to be a Dallas fan. You don't watch football anymore, so let me choose my own team. And he was like, yeah, sure, go be whatever you want to be. So now I find a lot that if I say I'm a Chiefs fan, I have to explain that it's not because I'm a Taylor Swift fan. I was a Chiefs fan before Taylor made it cool. But I also feel like I shouldn't have to say that
No,
because
because if someone wants to be a fan because of Taylor Swift, that is also a good enough reason. There
yeah,
is no
and
bad reason to like any team.
no, and all these guys who are like, oh, my wife won't watch football with me. I can't watch it with my kids because they're not interested. Well, the amount of women now that like the sport because of Taylor Swift is
A good
amazing. And
thing.
it's such a nice bond that these dads and daughters or husbands and wives and things have now. Um, and the other thing that I wanted to bring up as well was while I was in Virginia, and I know I mentioned this to you earlier, while I was in Virginia, I was talking to one of Kyle's friends about Formula One. Now, I'm a huge Formula One fan. You know, it's one of my favorite sports to watch.
I know you'll
And
try to convince me to watch the
you,
prelims at 1 a.m. or whatever it is because
I'm
it's all
like
the way
the
over across the
qualifying,
world. Yes,
qualifying.
thank you.
I will teach you. It's fine. You will love it. You will learn to love it. Um, And this friend said to us, "Oh yeah, I've only started watching because I watched Drive to Survive. Sorry, I shouldn't really say that." And I was like, "No. this is the exact issue that girls have. They watch something and then they learn the sport, or they hear about something and they learn it, and they feel because I can't tell you who won the championship 25 years ago, that it's not they're not as much of a fan, or their fandom isn't as important or deserved. I don't care if you only started watching last week. You're still a fan if you enjoy it. And that's something that I find really difficult. And again, one of the ways that we have to try and justify as a girl being into sports.
I do think there's a level of it where it's like women too are more accepting of people who like aren't diehards. Like we'll accept people who are just casually interested. And
Yeah.
I find that there's a little bit more of like a patience level. Because
Yes.
sometimes like men, if you're not on their caliber or you don't know who won the Super Bowl in 1985, it's a big deal. It's like it's really not. Like let's
Yeah.
this 2025, so maybe if I only know things from this year, that's not a big deal. So
Yeah. And, if I'm showing an interest, why would you want to put that down? If I want to learn and I'm asking you for advice on, or hey, teach me about this, why would you want to put that down and make me feel like I shouldn't talk about it?
discouraging people from watching something that
Yeah.
you care about.
Yeah. What role do you think that women's sports play in? Because obviously now women's sports is getting bigger and bigger. We've got the Caitlin Clark in the basketball with Angel Reese, women's soccer. Oh, what else have we got now? Softball. Oh my God, softball is
Yeah.
on everywhere.
Yeah.
All these women's sports that are being more and more shown on TV. So, what kind of thing do you think? So, how do you think that's playing in the way female fans are perceived?
It's helping. I mean, I think I said this, but more representation and access to sports at a younger age or for girls, you know what I mean? We need media covering it. We need women athletes to be paid as much as men are. There's this capitalistic, that's its own whole kind of discussion, but hierarchy of why things are the way they are, and kind of girls can get pushed to dance or gymnastics. It's we need structural shifts in youth leagues
Yeah,
and community programs and things that there's outreach and body positivity about being an athlete, like Iona, I'm forgetting her last
Alona
name.
Ma.
Yes.
Yeah,
Love her. Her messages that she's
amazing.
putting out there. There was a video I just saw on TikTok where some girl was so upset. She goes, I can't play football. Girls can't play football. She stitched it and she's like, well, baby, let's try rugby. Tell your mom you want to try rugby. We can do all the stuff they can and
Yeah,
more. And it's just that message is so powerful. Word and encouragement and backing up and supporting, it cannot be understated.
no, I think as well. I really, she wasn't the first person that came into my head when I actually wrote that question, and I'm really glad you brought her up. I remember it's only the last couple of weeks, in fact, I saw um, a TikTok that she did saying, do you know how the nothing looks as good as skinny feels or whatever? And
Yes,
she's turned
yes.
it to, to strong. You don't have to be skinny, you be strong. Because she's not skinny, but she's so strong.
She
And
is.
you don't need to be skinny to be an inspiration to people. And she
Athletic.
is so, yeah. And I feel the same about like Kylie Kelsey. So she does a lot for the field
Yes.
hockey. She was a hockey player, and she says all the time, she's a big girl. She's tall. She's broad. She's not fat in like the any means, but she's a tall girl, and
Maybe
she
non-standard for media.
yes, yes, and she is very much supporting this whole incentive of girls can do whatever they want to do, and it's really really nice to see these famous people coming out and saying these things.
Yeah, like I said, that support can't be understated. I mean, when I was younger, there was Jenny Finch. I played softball growing up, so Jenny Finch was amazing. There was the viral video with her, like what was it, like softball versus baseball, what's harder to hit, and then she
Right.
ends up breaking the sensor plate. That'll still go viral every couple years. I remember that when I was younger. You know what I mean? Like her dominance and being so approachable as personality, that was a big mainstream like during my youth.
Yeah.
And it was, you could get the Jenny Finch headbands, and she kind of had her signature thing, and it's like having even that then.
Yeah.
I hope that so many girls are looking to Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese and these other women who are standing up and also making a statement of like, hey, we are household names now and we're getting paid 45K a year.
Yeah.
That's insane. I don't know
Yeah.
if you saw recently they did the pay me what I'm worth
Yes, I
on
did.
for their
Yeah.
practice jerseys.
Yeah. I think it's the same with the women's football. This tournament had it's sold out. Every single game was sold out, and that's better than most games do. And it
That's
was
amazing.
incredible to watch. And going back to something that you said earlier, the Olympics. I adore watching the Olympics, whether it's summer or winter. Love it all. I think I prefer the winter, but I absolutely love it.
I think I like
But
winter better too.
yeah, this is going to sound silly, but I love the bobsleigh. I love the figure skating. The craft behind it. I just absolutely adore. But then when it comes to the summer, you've got the gymnastics, you've got the athletics. I love it, and I love
For me
watching
it's
them.
swimming. The swimming is
Yes,
so dominant.
yes. Well,
Hmm.
you've got Michael Phelps, so
Well, and actually, I was gonna say Katie Ledecky. She's
yeah,
insane. She's
she is wonderful.
lapping others.
And even like the Paralympics, I'd love watching the Paralympics and seeing what different people and different able-bodied people can do, and it's just one of the best things. Now, my niece has just turned 5, and her favorite thing to watch is Simone Biles, and
Oh
she
yeah.
has her own little high bar now at home, and she's copying Simone Biles, and she's it's just another way that girls are inspired to do what they can do by all these different athletes that are out there. So the Olympics is just absolutely wonderful. It I can't remember where's the next one. Do you know?
Next year, isn't it gonna be in LA?
I think it is
Let's see. Yeah,
because the World Cup's over
Winter
here as
Olympics.
well. Yeah.
Oh, 2026 held in Milan. What?
Oh, maybe it's
2028 is summer.
so that's the one that's here.
Yes.
Okay. Because I
Yes.
think the World Cup's here as well, either next year or the Football
Oh,
World Cup.
I didn't know
Um,
that.
yeah, and I think there are some games in Florida, so we'll have to have a look and see if we can.
Oh.
I'll definitely keep an eye out for that one.
Yeah.
So, speaking of like Simone Biles and Ilona Maher, and um, Jenny Finch, is there any female sports figures now that inspire you, or is it more from when you was younger?
It was definitely from when I was younger. I do appreciate and value the women who are making a name now. And I think we named some of the big ones: Simone and Iona and Angel and Caitlin, and just their grit. You know what I mean? It's this unapologetic. I mean, and if you want to go a little bit older too, Serena Williams, Venus Williams,
Yeah,
because the backlash that they have faced and things that they deal with, the media questions that are more wanting to talk about their fashion. It's just so, sometimes it feels so ridiculous to try to like downplay what the sport is to
yeah,
like, what do women want to see? Oh, well, which sneakers are you going to use? And I mean, don't get me wrong. When I see guys coming up to bat and they've got the new custom sneakers because they've got a deal with Adidas and that's super cool, that's definitely not the most important thing for me.
no. I really enjoy watching the horse racing, or horse riding, especially at the
Hmm.
Olympics. So one of my favorite people to watch is Zara Phillips. I don't expect you to know who Zara Phillips is.
I was gonna say I don't recognize her name.
Well, she is actually part of the royal family.
Oh,
Her mum is Princess Anne, who's one of the Queen's daughters, or the Queen's only daughter, and she doesn't have a royal title or anything like that, and she's very much a normal. as royals come, she's very normal. And she was an Olympic. I think she did she win gold. She may have won gold. She's definitely a medalist
Mhm.
in horseback riding and show jumping and things. And just watching those skills is she's somebody who I really like to watch and is inspirational, I guess, because it is like kind of one of those sports that not many people are going to do, but so you know seeing how much effort she puts into it is just really, really nice. I'm going to take a little bit of a turn here with what I ask you, but have you ever
Okay.
considered working in sports media or any part of the industry?
So I have so much respect and love for the people who are able to bring us the games that we love so dearly to our homes or radios. And Joanna, I think you could even attest to this based on how our spring training game went. I was so hyper focused on getting my hat signed. I have a hat that's dedicated to the broadcasters. So I'm missing the two big ones, the two TV broadcasters, but Andy Freed from the radio, Neil Solondz, Doug Wechter, like all those kinds of things. Even the guy who does the in between innings, Nate, he's my guy, by the way. We're friends now. I think Jonna was surprised by how many people I knew. I know the camera guys there. It just, that community is just so interesting to me. So I'm a
Yeah,
videographer by trade, and I've been suggested at or even offered to look in like how the truck works and the media crew that televises the local sports. So another part of that is like being in the Tampa Bay area, like we mentioned, it's really amazing because we have really well performing teams often. Like go
yes,
back to Champa Bay in 2020, it's an absolute blast.
yeah,
Bucks, Bolts, Rowdies, Rays. Like it's on so many shirts, Champa Bay 2020. Now,
yeah,
unfortunately, the Rays were the only ones who didn't get the championship, but they did make it to the World Series and played against the Dodgers. But I sometimes dream of like being on the media team, whether it's photography or videography, to kind of I would dream of it sometimes. It seems like such a fun thing to me, and then it would
yeah.
be bringing the games that I love so seriously and so intensely to people who are like me. I just think that's really cool. I don't know, maybe that can be my new big girl job. Like my when I grow up, I want to do this kind of thing. It just seems so fun.
That's something that I was always interested in as well. I don't know if you know, I used to do photography back in England, but it was more like family stuff and portraits or set sessions. But sports photography has always been something that I've really enjoyed looking at. I've never actually done it. My sister in Australia does do that right now. She works with some local teams, and she does photography there. And it's like a full circle moment, like seeing them on the TV to then actually working with them and doing your own thing. It's
It's
definitely
cool.
something. I don't think I'd be brave enough to ever be like a broadcaster or anything like that. But
Ooh, no, but
no,
I'm very much a behind the camera kind of girl,
yes,
that's for sure. Yeah, I think we're alike in those regards. Not to say
and
that I couldn't talk in front of it, but
it's different when it's just like this to
yeah.
knowing that millions of people might no, 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 thank you.
Yeah.
But going back to you living the broadcast team, I was in Miami. What, May? Yeah, May. I
Yes.
was in Miami, and I'm walking past and I see Doug Wagner to my side. I can see that he's studying his notes, and I'm like, I need to let Laura know he's here. So
Yes.
sneaking a little picture and sending it to you as I'm walking around and like, look who's here, look who's so close.
It's
But
funny, Dougie's actually a local guy. My mom is went to high school with one of his uncles
yeah,
and is a client. That's one of her clients. So it's a small world. I mean, like I said, Tampa Bay has such a great culture, especially in baseball. We have
yes,
so many people who come from these areas or, you know, grow up nearby that end up in the bigs and that kind of thing. Like it's a cool thing because then you get to think like there's a guy who played against my brother in high school, went to Seminole High School. You might know him, Brett Phillips.
oh yeah, 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 I know that one.
He
I know
played
that
at
guy.
Seminole High. He played at Seminole High School. It's like one year my brother's a sophomore playing against Brett as a senior. Super cool to see him in the majors and do those kinds of things. And
I was distraught when we sold him, when we trade him. And that's something that I cannot get used to. Like trade deadline. Oh my god, I hate it.
Heart wrenching.
I hate it. And that's what's happened this week. And almost every day, Laura and I have been texting and like, please don't go, please don't go, please don't let them go. And I've got to the point where I dare even say who my favorite player is out loud because he's guaranteed to be traded.
Oh,
And
absolutely. And
oh
that's just the Ray's way. And I was
yeah,
trying to explain this to my best friend's fiance because he likes sports in general. And he's actually one of the people that I'll talk to about sports. And he'll be like, well, I don't know if I can be a fan. I'm just going to write him off for this year. And I'm like, baby, this is not new
mm-mm.
to us. This is true to us. This is how you cannot fall in love. I mean, my mom has said the Rays will trade away their own mother for a nickel. That is her
Yep.
favorite quote. If you're
She's
still
not wrong.
watching, Mom, you can attest to this. But
And
it's
if you're not watching, Mum, what's going on? We'll be
yeah,
having words.
yeah. No, she'll be one of the first viewers. I think on YouTube she's got your little bell
Good,
notifying me when new
good.
videos come out.
But
So,
I remember, so the first season that I watched the Rays was when they was in the World Series, when they
okay.
got to the final. That was the
Yeah.
first season. And Kyle always says it's downhill from here. You know, you watched it when there was the very, very best. It was the short COVID season.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
there was in the final World Series finals and all downhill from there. But that's okay because they're our team and you
Yeah.
support them through thick and thin and
A little bit of
oh,
background lore just cuz I have it right here. I was here for this game. The
oh nice.
ALCS Game 7, where Aki took it to second base, and we get the call from Dave Wills, rest in peace, who does the amazing call.
Yep.
It just gives me chills to think about being, how old was I then? 10 or 11, and I'm at the game, and I will always hold a very slight grudge against the Phillies for the 2008 World Series, but just being a fan for that long, it's just impactful. Whether or not I'm
Yes.
active every single year, it doesn't matter.
No.
In 2023, I ended up I was moved a lot closer to the trop than I was before, so I ended up going to a lot more games and I was really excited, and that was the year that we started with 13 wins and we just kept winning, and I remember I posted something in a Facebook group or commented on something, and someone claims, he's like, "You're just a bandwagon fan." I found a picture of me with Jorge Cantu back in 2007 at the Rays baseball camp and posted it and been like, I'm just like, it just blows my mind. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, okay, I'm just a bandwagon fan, or yeah, I'm just here for the hot dogs, which I saw a really cute video, by the way. I don't know if you saw it. It was a girl, guy was just running around with a mic. You know how these people go.
Mhm.
Hey, are you here for any specific reason? You like the game? And she's like, no, I'm just here for hot dogs. Woo! And it was just the cutest thing. And she starts clapping, and it's like, you get it, girl. You enjoy your hot dog.
Yeah. And what does it matter if that's all you're there for? You know, if you're gonna have a good time, then have a good time.
Yeah.
That's all that
Yep.
matters. If there's a bobblehead involved, I'm more than likely to go. I will try my
Yeah.
best to go. But
Oh, I know. You'll text me and say, if it starts raining, I'm getting my bobble and going.
yep, yep, yep. I have two now. Well, three kind of because I have two Josh Lowe ones, but I do have one
Mm.
from when we went to Pittsburgh. I have one from there as well.
Oh,
So
that's cool.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
actually I'll have to show you later. It's actually my camera stand right now for my
Oh,
bed
that's
camera
funny.
because the it's too high. But yeah, it's making it's in good use, good use. And that's another thing as well. So being a girl fan, I like collecting memorabilia. I like collecting stuff. The wall to my side, so this is my office area. The wall to my side has um, Tampa Bay Devil Rays baseball bats that are engraved from.
Ooh.
I don't know if there's a year on it. Uh, I can't see it. I'll have to show you it later though. But
Mm-hmm.
they're probably 10, 15 years old, baseball bats. We have the ball that Kyle caught when we went to the Phillies game. It's
Yeah.
on display. And he said to me, oh, I'm going to put it in my office. I'm like, no, you're not. That comes with me. We have all the certificates of my first
Yeah.
game. It's just there's so much joy that
Oh,
sport
yeah.
brings
I
everyone.
I have a whole shelf. I don't know if you remember seeing it when you were at my house very briefly, but in my living room, there's a whole shelf with my bobbleheads. You know, Jordan's got his Legos. He's a Lego guy. I've got bobbleheads and my Carl Crawford. I have a lot from him. He was my favorite player growing up. And then I have a signed hat by him. And then I have the little, the bear bobblehead that I think they did in 2023. I'm forgetting who it was for, but like right above me here, I have my signed Luke Rayleigh ball because I was obsessed with him. I have my little
Oh,
hockey puck
wait,
from the
wait.
Stanley Cup.
I need to interrupt. The ball that
Yes,
Kyle caught was a Luke Rayleigh foul ball.
really? That's
Yeah,
fun. That's
that's
fun.
really fun.
So then next to that, I have my hockey puck from the Stanley Cup and my little, they gave you the little wrist bracelet that like lights up in time with everybody else. Like I keep stuff too. When I
Yeah.
was in Busch Stadium watching the Cards play against the Rays, I sat in the front row of center field because my brother really likes, he thinks that's a really cool spot to sit, like
Okay.
first row in an outfield. And I remember being like making friends with the Cardinals fans next to us. I was like, hey, we got to get their attention. They got to throw me a ball, blah, blah, blah. And then it finally happened. Bottom of the fifth, Donovan's up to bat, hits left center, so like right by us, foul ball, or not foul ball, pop fly, and then Jose Siri catches it, and I'm waving, Siri, Siri, Siri. He threw it to me, and I think I blacked out. Like, and it's right there. So every time I look at it, I get excited. I
Yeah.
remember that. Like, I, that's why I got it. I want to start taking my glove. I want to take that to the game. I would love to get it signed. Like,
Yeah.
who would look at this joy that we have and then want to minimize it because we're women?
Yeah. I think that's probably the best line of this whole episode is, why do you want to minimize our joy? We're not hurting anyone. We're having a good time. We're joining in. We're encouraging you to have fun as well.
Hmm.
So why would you not want us to have joy together?
And there's little things like men can do to kind of be better allies. I know this was something that you had mentioned about maybe talking about. There's
Yeah.
little ways that can make a big difference. You can believe us when we say we know what we're talking about without kind of
Yeah.
testing us, or maybe you can start sharing women's highlights and articles and things like that, like paying attention to the flip side or trying to get a different perspective. You might be surprised with how tough these girls might be and how
Yeah.
the games very differ.
And if we ask you a question so that we can improve our knowledge, don't talk to us like we're dumb.
Yeah,
You don't need
don't
to dumb it
don't
down.
dismiss us.
Yeah,
Although I
you
will
know.
say I am hard to dismiss. I might be minimized, but it would be hard to dismiss me.
I honestly, so the first game, well, the game that we went to at spring training, that was the first time we spent any real amount of time together that's not on a video call or, doing a podcast.
Texting.
Yeah, that was the first time we spent time together, really. So you're throwing two people together who don't really know each other very well on a one on one basis, I guess, like face to face basis. We had so much fun. Like the
Hmm.
people either side of us, we were just making friends everywhere, was talking to everyone. And all these guys were just talking to us like we was just normal people.
Yeah,
And it was great.
yeah,
We were never felt to be dumbed down because we're women. We was never felt like we didn't belong there. And I do think that's something, especially with the Rays, that they do encourage is such a good family atmosphere. And that's the same to my
absolutely.
local team. Back in Doncaster, they were actually voted a few years as the most family friendly organization in the country,
Really?
and it made me really proud because being a family friendly, family first organization is so important to me, and that made me really happy.
Yeah. Can we go a little off topic and mention Banana Ball? If you want to
Oh
talk
my
about
god,
fans
yes,
first, if you want to
yes,
talk about fans first and supporting the non-traditional, I think there's a lot of people who are very traditional kind of angry about it, and it's like at the end of the day, have you ever seen the Globetrotters? I mean, it's
yes,
it takes skill. These guys are
yeah.
very good at what they're doing.
And the
So,
Globetrotters used to so they used to tour as well, and they used to tour over in England. I don't know if you knew that they came over to England at
Really?
all.
Oh, that's
So
so
yeah,
cute.
they used to tour in England as well, and they were always sold. I could never ever get tickets. They were always sold out, and
Oh,
that's the same with the Banana Ball. That I've tried so many times to get
I
tickets for
have too.
that. I've been on waiting lists. I've because I wanted to surprise Kyle with it and do something different. I can never ever get tickets. And
I know.
they sold out Raymond James Football Stadium. So anyone who doesn't know, that's one of the biggest stage. The football stadiums over here are crazy big,
Yeah.
absolutely crazy big.
80,000, does that
I
sound
think it
right?
was, yeah. And they sold it out for this fun little game that people don't think is serious. Well, it is serious. It is a competition still, and they just have so much fun doing it. In fact, I was watching last night, was it yesterday? They played the firefighter team.
Yeah,
I
I think
watched them last
so.
night. Yeah, I watched it while I was waiting for the Rays game, and I'm sat at my desk doing a little bit of research for this podcast. I had the Rays on one side and the banana ball on the other, and it was just so much fun
I
to
think
to
that's
watch and enjoy, and you know,
I think they have a really positive influence on bringing people into the sport or into the realm, or kind of like unabashedly being a fan of it. They're very
yeah,
focused on fans first, and fans comes in all shapes and sizes. Boys or girls, men or women.
yeah,
They don't care. They want you there to have fun. And I just think
yeah.
that that's a great message, and I would love to see these kind of trends, and I really hope that organization does really well.
I have no doubt that they already are doing really well. So I don't
Yeah.
think it's ever going to get any less than where it is. If anything, that's just going to get bigger and bigger. So I I think it's great. I think more things, more teams should do things, more organizations should do things like this because
Support it, yeah.
yeah, it's so good. Have I missed anything?
I think the recap really is just there's good parts despite even having challenges. There's community, the joy of the game, whether I'm high fiving strangers after a walk off home run, or going over a killer power play, rewatching the game in a Discord call with my friends halfway across the country. Sports can bring us together. I don't think there's any real reason to limit that.
No.
There's ups and downs, and every season can be like a shared adventure or an experience. So, being a part of that story, having a voice in it, that's just kind of the best feeling of all.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you so much for coming again. I will think of another topic to bring you back. I'm not too sure what yet, but I'll think of something. Um,
I don't
and
think I have any shortage of things I can talk about.
and I will admit, I didn't notice all your memorabilia because I was too busy going, "Oh my god, I need that Lego."
mm,
So
maybe I'll have to bring Jordan on for Lego.
yeah, but yeah, I was obsessed with the Lego. I adore Lego anyway. So
Yeah. Well, thank you
yeah,
for having me yet again.
thank you for coming back. And if anyone's still listening who isn't just Laura's mom, thank you for being here. And until next time.